Hello everyone, welcome to the Tuples lecture. And tuples are very similar to lists, however, they have one key difference, which is immutability. In our previous lecture, we've looked at how lists work, how we can reassign them values, how we can change the elements inside them. But once an element is inside a tuple, it cannot be reassigned. So when you're creating a tuple, it also uses something that is called parentheses. If you have been along with us in this lecture, you should pretty much know what parentheses are. Just this bracket that here, and you pass in your items into it. So without wasting much of our time, let's get right into our notebook and explore how we can create tuples. Alright guys, so like I mentioned earlier that tuples are very similar to lists. However, unlike lists, they are immutable, meaning that they can't be changed. So you would actually want to use tuples to represent or to present things that should not be changed, such as let's say days of the week, dates in the calendars, and so on and so forth. Alright. So quickly, let's look at how we can construct a tuple. And to do that, we're going to have, let's say, a variable name. I'm going to name this t in this instance. I'm going to say t is equals to, don't forget we're using parentheses. And here I can just say 1, comma 2, comma 3. So if I run this cell and I say, let me just check what I have in this tuple. So I can say t, and here I'm going to get my tuple list. I can also check the length of the amount of tuples that we have here. Like if I say t size length, remember when we did our list and string, it's going to return the total number of items that you have in that tuple. It can also take in mixed object data types, remember, like what we did in list. So you can have something like t is equals to, yeah, I can have a string of let's say 1, and yeah, I can also have a number like 2, right? So if I run this and I check t, we're going to have our output right here. Very good. You can also access the item by the index number. So I can say something like t, and here I'll just say 0, and I should get 1, and I can access the last item here also. I can say -1, and I'm going to get 2 because that's the last item in the tuple. There are also some basic methods in tuples that I should take note of. So for example, I can say t.index, and I can say index, and I can say 1. And what this does is this index basically taking a value, and it basically return the index of where that value is in the tuple list, right? So if I run this cell, you're going to see that it's returning 0, which means that the one value is at index 0. So you can also do t.count, and this t.count basically is going to count the total number of appearance or occurrence in that tuple. So if I say 1 here, so it's going to count the total number it appears in that tuples, right? So if I run this, you're going to see that it's returned 1. Very good. So one thing to take note of is that tuple is immutable. So for example, if I say something like t, right? So if I say t and I say, okay, t at 0, right? I want to change the value of the index 0 to, let's say, change to this text change. You will see what's going to happen. So change. So if I run this cell, you see we're going to have error. Why? Because tuple object does not support item assignments, right? Which means that you cannot assign a value into a tuple after it has been created. So if I also say t.append, like how we did in our list, and I say append, nope, right? We're going to have error, which means that we cannot add an item into a tuple after it has been created. So one question that should come to your mind is, when are we to even use tuples, right? You may be wondering, why bother use tuples when they have fewer available methods? And to be honest, tuples are not used as often as lists in programming, but they are used when immutability is necessary. So if in your program you are passing around an object and you need to make sure that it does not get changed, then tuple becomes your solution. It provides a more convenient source of data integrity. So you should now be able to create and use tuples in your programming, as well as have a basic understanding of their immutability. And in our upcoming lecture, we're going to be talking about set and booleans. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye bye.